We will now continue to the question portion of the evening. Once again, we've put your names into a randomizer. So these will be in random order. The way this will work is I will read the question, and in order to save time, our Zoom administrator will type the question into chat. So if you need to refresh your memory, please check the chat box. She'll put that in as I'm reading this. All right, question number 1. How do you see the city of Corpus Christi ensuring our future access to important resources like water, balancing the needs of the environment and the economy with jobs in industry and tourism? And you will have 1 minute to respond. We'll start with Mr. Rosas.
Let me unmute. Sorry about that. First of all, the coastal bend is already attracting industry and businesses and jobs because of the port dredging and the new bridge project that would allow larger vessels to come in and out of our port. So it's important the key to the economic growth is to attract new employees here instead of the surrounding cities. With good infrastructure, great city services, and public safety, we can attract new citizens and residents to expand our tax base and relieve some of the tax burden on our current city residents. I would prioritize that spending in those much needed areas of public safety, streets, infrastructure, and housing affordability. This will not only improve the quality of life, but definitely help the current residents at this time.
All right, so we'll go on to Ms. King.
Okay, to answer your question, I think what we need to do is big businesses are getting a lot of tax break, including refineries. I think they need to start paying their fair share of taxes. So to relieve some of the taxes off of residents, taxpayers. As far as bringing in new businesses, I think we need to help small businesses right now. I remember when Corpus Christi was booming downtown, where you can actually go and shop and didn't have to go to the South Side. We need to bring more to that, to Corpus Christi. That's what we need to attract. I mean, we have people come in from out of town. Yes, they want to see our Bayfront and Ocean Drive, but there's nothing to do once they see that, once they walk Ocean Drive. So I think we need to attract businesses downtown other than bars. You know, we need department stores, shoe stores. You know, we need just more small businesses downtown, and so we don't have to go to the South Side. I mean, I'm a legal assistant and I work uptown, and if I want to do something on my break, it takes a long time to go to the South Side and come back to, you know, back downtown within the hour. So I think we just need to attract businesses or have small businesses come into the downtown area.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. King. Our next candidate is Mr. Arriaga.
Yeah, so I think the key to the water question is in embracing the information that's already available. There's 18 years worth of research on the table, and the truth is that we need a solution that is not that contains the water rights. We can't just buy water by the gallon as a primary solution, because it's not a good long-term deal for the ratepayer. If we take control over production and allow for capacity increases, we're going to position ourselves much stronger to be competitive in the job market across the state. The big industries that are coming in, they're coming in because we've demonstrated our willingness to be serious about how we acquire water and have made good deals in the past. Some would argue that the deals could have been better, and I think that it's important that we make a good deal this time around for the ratepayers and to secure some sort of a maintenance fund for our water lines in the city that are long overdue for rehab.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for that answer, Mr. Arriaga. Our next candidate is Ms. Perez.
I think it's a big issue. I know everybody knows that already. Where our water is coming from, we do need long-term solutions. I do think I'm a big proponent of working together. I think if we put more heads together, we can secure our future with water and not have to worry about it. And we know how droughts are here. We know any longstanding resident knows how detrimental that can be, especially when our resources is running low during the summer and then water restrictions come in. So I think really working together, the process has already started moving, but I'd like to see a lot more study on our environment. I think that's still something that hasn't been shown a lot. So I'd really like to see more of that. I don't really think it needs to take more time, but I do think that we need to focus a little bit on that. I'm a big proponent of also diversifying our economy. So with that comes the need to improve our infrastructure, our public services in order to.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. All right, our next candidate is Ms. Peña Noyola.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I am going to be in support of our public safety, our streets, and any economic growth and economic development. We live in a beautiful city, the city by the sea. Water is very vital to everyone, and water is what we have. What I am a very big proponent on is making sure that we are educating the public in understanding that our need for water is not just a matter of deciding today, but it's planning for the future. Whether we have water rights, whether we have to buy water, or whether we have to build a plant, at some point it's going to cost us one way or the other. So it's very important that we continue to educate the public and find a solution that's going to be mutually beneficial for the citizens of Corpus Christi and for everyone who is going to be paying for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Our next candidate is Mr. Hunter.
I mean, water is extremely important, and it always will be. I mean, finding a great water source for the city of Corpus Christi has always been difficult, because when you look at the groundwater situations, you have to follow the water all the way. We're the end of the rivers, we're the end of the streams. So when we're looking at groundwater solutions, we have tapped a lot of them. We need a reliable water source. The people don't, I think it was mentioned earlier, the people don't want to go through restrictions like they did during the drought back 5 years ago. And the businesses don't want to have to cut back on their water usage either. They want to continue to grow and bring in revenue, which is great for the city, because that gets us tax dollars, which is another reason why we won't have to raise taxes. Businesses, you want to expand the tax base. That's very important. That relieves us a lot of tax pressure from the local community. Bringing in new businesses is great, but here's the problem. Our realtors and home builders have their hands full because so many people are wanting to come in to move to this city. Real estate's actually taking off, which is shocking during a COVID time period.
Okay,
so we have to have the amenities to bring these people in.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Okay, our next candidate is Mr. Grossman.
You know, the city council has attempted to solve this water problem by doing a desal operation for Corpus Christi. What I don't understand, and one of the reasons I'm running, is because I thought Mary Rhodes had, accomplished this problem of hooking up, the city's needs for water. But then I find out that they haven't even finished the project yet. It's still not hooked up. It's about 20 miles south or northwest of Corpus Christi. Now they want to do a desal, and I'm not concerned. I am concerned about where's the waste going to go from the desal. Is the salt that they desal from the sea water that comes in, is it going to go back into the bay? If it does, it's going to ruin our bay. If it's going to go back on land, it's going to ruin our ranch land and our water that's very valuable to us.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Grossman. Okay. Our next candidate is Mr. Garcia.
To attract economic growth, I think what the city with the new Harbor Bridge, like Brian said earlier, I think that's going to be the beacon of the city where people are going to want to develop areas to the North Beach area, to the downtown area, and the Hillcrest area. I think those areas are going to be prime gold, real estate opportunities for economic development. Also, regarding with Texas A&M University, with our university growing, it's growing so rapidly to a point where we have kids that come around from all around the world just to attend our university. I think that's a big factor for Corpus Christi. And then, of course, clean water. I think clean water is for everyone. I think that's a huge priority for any council member, because clean water, basically, that's been a huge issue in the past. And I think with the citizens' input, I think just by listening to them and giving them an opportunity, I think that will help resolve that issue as well. But also public safety and EMT, keeping our citizens safe and all our visitors that come into our beautiful city as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia. We'll move on to Mr. Pusley.
Your question centers around growth, and my three main campaign themes are development, infrastructure, and police and fire. The city of Corpus Christi has to continue to make progress on our infrastructure improvements. If we don't do that, businesses that are here are going to struggle to grow, and the businesses who want to come here are not going to, because of all the problems centered around those issues. So we have to also work with the development community to have smart growth in this community, to make sure we're building in the right places and we're providing the things that we need for this community to move forward. Police and fire, integral part of that. No one wants to live or move to or reside in a community where you have to be concerned about your personal safety. So those three things are what we can do to make sure that we're providing the growth potential for this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pusley. Okay, our next candidate is Mr. Martinez.
We've been on water restrictions, it seems like, since I was a kid, and it's always been an issue. And I believe that it has affected our growth up until this point. We see many cities in Texas that are booming while Corpus is growing slowly. We do need the infrastructure in order to have the growth, but we have to have secured water in order to really be able to grow. When looking at all the options, you look at surface water, groundwater, and desal. It seems like desal is the only one that really gives us a long-term solution with an unlimited supply of water. That does go into the economy, like we were talking about, the tourism and the other business industries coming in, but environmentally, we have to be careful as well. The waste products going into the inner harbor is not an option, in my opinion. It has to be a plan where the waste go out into the Gulf. So planning is a very important part of it. It's another thing where we have to have good partnerships to come up with plans to do this. There is a plan that the Port of Corpus Christi has right now. They've done the permitting and some other things, and I think that will be a good plan for us. And I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. And finally, Mr. Larry White.
For our community to grow, I divide up our economy. I classify as you have tourism, industry, our naval air station, medical. You want a diverse economy because that's the most healthiest way to go for a stable economy. For any of these things, we need a stable or reliable source of water. I'm not going to go into all the details, the technical details, which I am very familiar with, other than to say there have been a lot of options that have been looked at. I know what are being looked at with desal and with the aquifer, and I'm just going to say I'm asking questions because I know the questions to ask. Our infrastructure streets have got to be fixed. Tourists are not going to be happy driving down a bumpy street on Ocean Drive. So we got to take care of our infrastructure. I know the questions to ask, and I'm asking them to in response to our infrastructure so our economy can grow.
Thank you very much, Mr. White.